And this time around, did a little bit different. Usually, we'll probably talk about it at the end, but what have we been watching lately? But this time around, we're going to do a top 5 horror movies of all time. What do you think
Sir.
about it?
Sir.
Sir, I told you. Told you.
It's pretty fucking
Pretty
good.
fucking good.
Pretty fucking good. Maybe we should do a review of this. So no, the Saison was amazing, but I also want to shout out Mother Earth from San Diego County, right here in sunny SoCal. Mother Earth. They make a great vanilla cream ale called Cali Creamin'.
Mhm.
This is a twist on it called Cali
It's
Screamin'. It's a pumpkin
vanilla
cream ale.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Great shit. So we're gonna do top 5 horror movies of all time. I will go first on this.
okay.
All right. So you can sandbag your way through whatever you got.
Sandbag. Okay. Whatever.
And like I love horror movies. It's probably my favorite genre. I haven't watched them all. I'm trying to watch majority of, especially the old school ones.
So, it's your favorite genre?
Favorite genre.
Okay, let's
There's
do
so
real
much.
quick. Let's do top 5 genres.
Oh, let's do it.
How about top 3?
Top 3 what?
Or we do top 5 because there's only about like 6 genres, so we can't really do top 5. How about top 3
Genres of all like genres
of movies? Just real quick.
What do you mean? Like, what are you talking about?
Genres, movie genres. What the
Movie
fuck are we
genres?
talking about here?
So horror is 1, action adventures 2, and comedies 3.
Okay, for me it's sci-fi 1,
Okay.
action adventure 2,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna go a tie between drama and thriller for 3.
Okay. I mean, I like my comedy, so
The comedy to me is pretty low. Like because
here's a good comedy.
I love comedies. Don't get me wrong, but for me the rewatchability is low, super low on comedies.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of good comedies I we watch.
For me, there are comedies, but a lot of them
I think
lose
more.
rewatchability.
I rewatch a lot more comedies than any other.
Not me.
Fucking
There
genre.
there are some that I absolutely do, absolutely, because you catch more jokes the
Yeah.
second and third time around. But there's a lot of them that just get boring the more you watch them, and that's my problem.
Alright.
The more you watch them, there's diminishing returns. I don't get that with sci-fi and action movies. They're just as exciting. Well, maybe not just as exciting, but there's less diminishing returns the more I watch them. Anyway,
Top 5 horror movies
Tangent.
of all time is what we're doing here. My number 5. I'm gonna do the Blair Witch Project.
what the fuck?
Yes.
Stop the fucking presses.
Yes.
This is bullshit.
Oh
This
my
list
God.
is invalid.
If-
Invalid.
Oh, no.
Invalid.
Oh my God! This movie when
Invalid.
it first came out,
I
when
don't give a
first
fuck.
Saw it, scary as fuck.
I'm not
dude.
talking about
I'm
when you
so
first saw it.
scary.
Okay, so diminishing returns.
Even now when I rewatch it,
No.
yes, it holds
Stop
up to me. I think it holds up. It definitely does. I still get like, oh my God, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Top
what the fuck?
fucking 5?
Yes, top 5. Blair
I can almost understand honorable mention. Top 5.
top 5.
Fuck you.
100%. That movie was ahead of its time too, with found footage and just
Yeah, all the found footage movies suck,
unbelievable.
dude. They're
That
played
one
out.
is fantastic, especially the press that came with it and thinking
Yeah,
it was
but
fucking real.
that's
fucking
at the
ins-
time.
Oh my God.
That's at the time. Now it
I'm
doesn't.
looking at
hold,
it.
it doesn't
at the
hold
time
up.
as well. I think it does still hold up.
No, you're crazy.
it.
Crazy talk.
Number 4, I'm gonna go. What was it? Halloween. Number 4. The original Halloween is number 4. And I saw this actually. I did it back to back. The Halloween original and then the new Halloween movie that came
Oh,
out
fuck the new
in
one.
theaters. The original it still holds up to this day, especially the theme. Obviously, the theme song is fantastic, and then just the way the stalker feel of that movie is just so haunting.
It's also
very eerie and
it's also when you realize how low budget it is and how far ahead of its time
exactly
it
far
was.
ahead of its time. It is.
Now I know I just shit all over that with the Blair Witch Project, but but that's because the slasher genre holds up a lot more than the fucking found footage genre does. So there's a lot to be said about Halloween. That there's so many great things.
Number 3, I'm gonna go A Night Nightmare on Elm Street.
A Night Where?
A Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 3. Because the fact that you could die in your dreams still,
So are we talking-
still haunts me.
So
this
I
day.
kind of missed this. Are we talking about top 5 horror movies
Yes.
or top 5 Halloween movies?
Horror movies. This movie is the best Nightmare.
See,
is
you messed me up
fucking
though
good.
because I thought you were talking about the top 5 like horror movies for Halloween, which to me is a distinction.
Whatever you want, bro.
Well, it was too late now because we already put a list together. It's too late.
Okay.
So
What?
you fucked it up.
I don't. Whatever. Just he interpreted it differently. It's
Yeah, because you don't communicate.
I
well.
did communicate with you dumbass.
Who's the dumbass here?
All right, number 2 is The Shining, and that is very, very haunting,
Yeah.
especially during the scene where the kid is, driving the biker.
The big
around.
wheel. The big wheel. Come on.
around.
We all had a big wheel.
Because you don't know what's coming on the corner, right?
We-
You're like,
we-
oh, it's clear.
Were you too
Well,
young for a big wheel? Did you have a big wheel when
No,
you
I
were a
had
kid?
a big wheel.
Okay,
I
cool.
definitely had a big wheel.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Big
did.
wheels were the shit.
Ooh, they were awesome.
They were the shit.
I definitely remember falling off of it and doing.
Oh, dude,
three-
all around the neighborhood.
all around.
All around the neighborhood
I
with that big
remember.
wheel. Just
Oh, yeah.
woo,
Oh, yeah.
woo, just like the hotel.
Mhm.
Same shit.
Mhm. And just that movie is so haunting, and just I love how that movie feels going through it. It's fantastic. It's a good number 2 horror movie of all time. Number 1, and it feels
With a bullet.
so real. This movie, it feels like a documentary. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is number 1 horror movie of all time. It's just it's like 1975 or 4, or something around there.
Or I think. Something like that.
Just it's shot so awesomely. It's shot like a documentary, and just the fact that it could be real is just insane. It feels so real in that movie. It scares the shit out of me every time I watch it. It's great. That is my top 5 horror movies of all time.
Honorable mention is a
Honorable
long fucking
mentions.
list for
It
Steve.
is.
Right?
It is. Evil Dead. All the Evil Dead. Fantastic. But to me, the Evil Dead is like a fun horror. It's very fun.
Yeah.
It's very gory kind of, but it feels like a fun, scary movie. Hereditary.
Interesting.
Everyone seems like they scare the shit out of them with that movie. That movie to me, it's scary at the end. During the beginning and middle parts, it's kind of like, okay, I'm just kind of going with it. It's kind of interesting. But at the end, it definitely gets you at the end.
Made your honorable mentions list. Must be pretty
Yeah,
fucking
it
good.
is. Sinister. That movie fucking that's haunting. The demon creature in that movie, very fucking scary. I'm surprised you haven't. Have you seen Sinister?
If you put The Grudge on your fucking
I did
honorable
not
mention
put it
list,
on there.
I'm gonna fucking kill you
The Sinister
on camera.
The
I'm gonna
Sinister-
kill you.
is 100% way above The Grudge.
Okay, well that's a
100%.
very low bar to clear. It's fine.
100% way fucking above that. The Exorcist.
Okay, it's great. It's great. Great.
I don't think it holds up as much as it.
It's still a great movie though.
The
Still a great
theme
movie.
song is fantastic, and what I like about it is, it's the theme song's only I believe the beginning and
One
the
of-
end of the movie.
One of the most ripped off movies of all
Yeah, it
time.
is,
though.
it
It's
What haunts me is like when they're in there trying to do the Exorcist and everything. There's no theme song. There's no.
it's
It's
dry.
it's dry.
It's dry. But that's
what's haunting about
yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's
yeah.
what's haunting about it.
So it that's what makes art, right? Is choice,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Creativity is all about choice. What do you do in any certain, avenue of your artistic creation? Choice, like in movies, there is so much placed on score. Score adds so much, but the
But
absence of
it-
score,
the absence
when
of
it's done right,
Mhm.
it can be very affecting. But it's not often done right, because we're so used to movies having score. Sometimes the absence of that can have a huge effect.
Another one, The Descent.
Okay, that sounds good.
Fucking just I'm like a claustrophobic person, so like fucking just fitting in all that shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Just, ugh. Especially like another one, As Above, So Below.
What
is
about
another
what about Buried?
claustropho- Buried too.
Buried.
Buried is too.
You're
Ryan
talking about
Reynolds.
claustrophobia.
Ugh.
Shit.
That is creepy. I'm gonna go with The Thing as well. Another honorable mention. The not knowing about what is
It's a
going
great,
on.
but it's
very haunting.
this is a great.
what the
This
fuck
is,
is going on?
this is a great crossover piece because it's also a thriller.
It is. Yeah.
Like it's just like it's not just horror; it's also a thriller because a mystery thriller, if you will. You know, like a murder mystery, but it's not about murder per se. But even though it is, but alien murder. But it has that feel where it's like, okay, so we're deviating from horror a little bit and going into the thriller genre, and Carpenter was always great with that, where he could bleed genres together and be like, okay, there's some action elements here, some thriller, some horror, some sci-fi. Like he would bleed all those genres together.
And then I'm gonna go. We have two more. Jeepers Creepers
Stop it.
1 and 2.
Stop it.
It's just such an original kind of like thinking almost.
It doesn't belong.
I
Come
think
on.
it does.
You can like it. It's fine.
I like it.
But come on.
It's in the honorable.
Top in the top? Stop it. Honorable mention still means it's top tier.
And then another like found footage one, Cloverfield. No. I think it's really good.
I like it. I respect it.
I don't know if it's scary.
The
as
sequel's
much.
better.
I what the
13 Cloverfield Lane.
yes,
It's better.
I like the.
And it's not found footage.
It's
It's just
not
a fucking movie,
fucking
and
movie.
it's way better.
Even the prequel to it too. I forget what it was called. There's a prequel to all
The one where they're in space,
yeah,
right?
we're in space.
That got shitty reviews.
Yeah.
I never
That
watched
was
it because
good.
it
I
got
liked it.
panned, but
I liked it. That is my top 5 and honorable mentions.
Cloverfield?
Cloverfield, yes. That the found footage of that like that style.
So
of
you're a
it,
found footage horror.
somewhat.
Okay.
Somewhat.
Okay.
If it's
But you didn't put Paranormal Activity in there.
no. At the time, I'll give you Paranormal Activity this.
It's super
when I
gimmicky.
first-
Super gimmicky. Super
When I first-
stupid, by the way.
When I first watched it in theaters, I thought it was like a true story. So like at that when I first saw it, I thought it was that, and it really scared me actually. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? This is crazy.
Pretty
But
dumb.
then I obviously grew a brain and thought like, no, it's not. It's
Yeah.
just a fucking movie.
The movie, by the way,
No.
folks, the movie didn't come out that long ago.
No.
So he grew a brain
I grew
at
a brain.
like
In 2001,
at like 16.
2001.
Okay.
You know, I was still like 16.
Was it that long ago?
It was like 2001, 2002.
Are you
around
sure?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to Google that and find out. I want to know when you grew a brain,
there.
because
I'll Google it and you give me your top 5.
Okay,
Horror
so it's
movies.
not going to include Blair Witch or
It should. but
Paranormal
fuck
Activity
you.
or Cloverfield. No.
2007. So
Okay,
I
that's when
was 20.
So, ladies and
I
gentlemen,
was 20.
the date when the year when
21.
Steve grew a brain, 2007.
Yes.
All right. So, okay. So, my top 5, I'm having some trouble here with where I want to put honorable mentions, where I want to put top 5. That's what I'm struggling with. So, and to be fair, I misunderstood.
I mean, you could do, thriller.
I was thinking more
horror,
what would be better for
scary,
Halloween. Otherwise,
Halloween,
my top, if we're just going horror, and because I'm a sci-fi head, my
Yeah.
top, or at least close to the top, would probably be Alien. Because I almost gave away one of my top ones there. I kind of did.
Okay, good.
So, but Alien, like to me, is a great horror movie, but it's not really a good Halloween movie. It's just
No.
not like it's just it's
good
it's a
sci-fi-
sci-fi movie.
sci-fi movie.
But as a sci-fi horror, it's fucking incredible. It's a masterpiece. But it doesn't really fit for me for Halloween. So I was trying to go the Halloween theme.
Okay.
So I think number 5, I want to go a tie. I really want a
Tie?
tie
You're a
here.
tie.
It's a tie for me
Okay,
from werewolf movies.
Okay.
The Howling and An American Werewolf in London.
Ooh,
To me, these
I
are
like those.
these
I
are
like
the
those.
2 greatest werewolf movies to me. And what I love about them, and what I will never, ever, ever forgive the piece of shit Twilight movies for bastardizing, is the horrificness of being a werewolf and what that means and what it is to change into a werewolf and the horror that comes along with that. What I always hated, besides, so we can also talk about how the Twilight movies completely bastardized and destroyed the idea of vampires.
Yeah.
They really destroyed it.
100%.
They absolutely did even worse with the idea of werewolves. Because the fucking bullshit where they just like rapidly change back and forth between a wolf and a human.
Yeah.
The horrific aspect of werewolves was the change, man. The change. That's what made it horrific. Yes, they killed and they were monsters, but what made them a monster was the change.
Yeah.
And The Howling and American Werewolf in London perfectly encapsulate that. Now, it's only one scene in each. It's one scene where they show the horror of that. And the rest of it is the horror of them being the wolf and killing people. But those scenes are so powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful. And such low budget B movies. But they did it so fucking well. Like, and to me, it has it been replicated?
Not really, no.
No, not really. That's the fucking crazy part. No.
I mean, Underworld or
Not really.
Underworld, maybe.
Maybe, but not really. Like those are more action movies. Like, and I'll get into the action aspect in a minute here in my honorable mentions. But like those movies to me, like have such impact. Like they're classic. They're absolutely classic.
They are.
Number 4, I think I'm going to go Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, again, this wouldn't be in my top 5 horror movies of all time, but because of the Halloween aspect, I thought that's what we were going with again.
I agree. It's
a great Halloween movie.
Great Halloween
like to me, it just encapsulates to me the idea of Halloween. I don't know what it is. It's almost abstract in its feel. It just feels like Halloween.
Yeah,
it really does.
it does.
It just has that feel. It's a great horror movie on its own. Not like if we were doing just straight top 5 horror movies, which is what he did, then it would be in my honorable mentions, but it wouldn't be in my top 5. But for Halloween kind of influenced horror movies, I don't know. For some reason, it just kind of has that Halloween feel to me.
In the fact that you could, die in your sleep, that's a scary aspect. And if you
but not just in your sleep,
to real life,
in a dream.
In a dream.
That's the real kicker. It's not just in your
sleep.
sleep; it's in a dream. Because you can die of a heart attack,
exactly,
or a stroke in your dream, or in your sleep, I should say. But in your dreams, that's what makes it super kind of, effective.
Scary,
Number 3, I'm gonna go with Shining. So The Shining, it could be my top 1 horror movie of all time. It could be. I don't know if it's quite there. I'm a huge Stanley Kubrick fan. I really love the artistic nature of his work, particularly of The Shining. Oh yeah, The Shining.
You can barely see it.
Yeah, but if any of you are fans of The Shining, you know what that picture is. And so what I always loved about The Shining is that Kubrick put his own artistic twist on it, right? He didn't just adapt the novel, which is why Stephen King's not a fan of it, because he took the novel and made it his own artistic piece. And that picture is a prime example of it, because that picture says something that was never in the novel. And a lot of things that Kubrick did in his movie were not in the novel. And it's because he took his own artistic license. And that's what made the movie great to me. I've read the novel. I've watched the movie. I like the movie better because I like the artistic choices that he took. The novel is great. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like the movie adds this extra underlying supernatural element that just was not there in the novel. And that picture is a prime example. And if you've watched the movie and you know where it closes before the credits fucking roll, and when the credits roll on that movie, you're like, what the fuck? And that's what's great about Kubrick, is that he just plants something in your head as an audience, and it's just like, okay, what the fuck did I just see? Like, I don't even know what it's just so open-ended, and it brings up discussion and ideas, and especially because in Halloween we like to talk about ghosts and supernaturalness and stuff like that. It just kind of fits perfectly in that context, so that's why I love it. Besides the fact that Kubrick's a genius anyway. Number 2, So I'm gonna go Texas Chainsaw.
Ooh, number 2. I had
So,
number 2 more.
and this could be Shining could have been number 2 over because a lot of the reasons I like Texas Chainsaw are the reasons that I like The Shining because of the artistic nature.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, The Shining is a much more refined artistic piece than Texas Chainsaw is, but Texas Chainsaw is kind of an underrated artistic piece as well, mostly because of the cinematography.
Yeah.
The cinematography is incredible in that movie. It is so underrated, even though people talk about it and we talk about how it's shot like a documentary and blah 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 blah. But it's not just that. It's the photography itself. The context is that it looks like a documentary, but it's also just the way it's shot with the sun and the lighting and everything. There's so many shots in that movie that are absolutely brilliant that are just for a low budget kind of B horror movie, you just don't expect to see. But you see it in that, and it adds so much flavor to that movie that makes somehow it makes the horror that much more effective. I don't know if it's because it feels like real life, maybe the documentary aspect, but it's also it just makes the other stuff that much more impactful because you're watching this and it's kind of semi-artistic and you're just kind of like, oh, this is really pretty, but then all of a sudden something horrific happens. You're like, whoa, it's that much more impactful. And it's dry. It's very dry. But that makes the horror when the classic scene when Leatherface slams the steel door. It's so dry but so effective. It works so well. Exactly. Number 1 with a bullet is Halloween, man. It's Halloween. We're talking about Halloween themed movies. Halloween is by far the best Halloween themed horror movie.
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest horror movies of all time, bar none. You got to put it in your top 3, at least, of horror movies in general. But if we're talking about Halloween horror movies, I mean, come on. It doesn't get any better than that. Kind of like Texas Chainsaw, not as the cinematography isn't as beautiful as Texas Chainsaw, but it's there where it has that dry kind of feel where you see things like one of my favorite images of all time is and Carpenter shoots this so well. When they're just walking home from school, they're holding their books, talking, and she's talking, then she just looks up and she sees him standing outside the hedge.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what's that? And then she kind of looks back and he's gone. And it's just the way it's shot is so beautiful from a horror movie aesthetic.
Yeah.
Because it adds that stalker element. Yeah. But it's just so dry. Like it has this palette that just looks so kind of like ominous. And it's not overproduced. Yeah. It's just very like realistic. And there's so many shots in the movie that like I just think of him like walking from the house, like that stalker like he's slowly. Yeah. The original slasher movie where he's walking, doesn't run. No, just walks, slowly walks as she's trying to get through the door. It's a gimmick, you know. It's been played out at this point in time. Yeah, it's been played out. It's cliche, but that invented the cliche, man. That was it. Like he's not in a hurry. He knows he's gonna get her eventually. He doesn't care. Yeah. He's just a Terminator. He's the Terminator, right? It's like it's just walking. Just not the T-1000 either. He's just walking. Like doesn't run. And it's just there's a lot of shots like that in the movie where it's just it's classic. So it's good. You know, that's a good one.
It's a good number 1. I like that.
Honorable mentions. So again, I was trying to think of things that are a little bit more Halloween based, not just straight horror. Hellraiser 2, Hellbound. Oh, I love Hellraiser 2, man. Hellbound, like I love the fact that this is something small, but it's just kind of cool to me. Yeah. The fact that Hellraiser 2 isn't the main title; it's a subtitle. The main title is Hellbound. Hellraiser 2. I'm like, that's cool, and it's a fucking great movie. When you watch it too, it's like this movie's badass. Like it's
almost better than the first one.
Oh, it is better. No, it's not almost. It is better. Like that is a better movie than the first one. No, it's great. It's fucking great. Like it's like Terminator 2 versus Terminator. Like it's the first one is fantastic. But the second one just steps it up a notch. And that's what makes it great. That's good. The Thing.
The Thing.
Fucking
The Thing, yes.
Like just it's such a great sci-fi horror movie. Like I could have put Alien in there too, but I feel like the Alien is a little bit more sci-fi. The Thing's a little bit more horror, so that's kind of when I went more horror with that. I wanted to go a little bit away from the chalk. I realized we were talking about this when I was making my list. I went a little bit chalk with a lot of my choices: Texas Chainsaw, Halloween, Shining. That's all kind of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's all kind of expected.
Yeah, it is.
How about Near Dark? I want to give some vampires some love here.
Yeah, all right.
Vampire movies. I love vampire movies. You know, we talked about how Twilight butchered werewolves. They also butchered vampires. Near Dark's a great vampire movie. Very kind of unsung, a little obscure. It's fun. I love Catherine Bigelow as a director. She's a great director. That was her, I think, her first movie
Mm,
before she did Point Break.
yeah.
Yeah, Near Dark's an awesome movie. Bill Paxton's great. The whole cast is great. It's a fun movie. How about Blade? We're talking about
Ooh,
vampires.
yeah, Blade.
How about the action horror
Action
genre?
horror.
Blade
Action horror.
1 and 2
Yeah,
are
yeah.
fucking great horror movies and
They are.
great vampire movies and great action
are.
movies. Oh
I
my
agree.
god.
That's good.
Like and to me they kind of fit into the Halloween aesthetic because of the comic book movie
Yeah,
kind of
it's
thing.
comic
Like
book
it's just it has this
Yeah.
kind of like Halloween feel to me. I don't know. And I just want to throw some more
Yeah,
vampire
all
stuff
right,
in there.
all right. Vampire guy. All right.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
Come on. I mean,
Yes,
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
Yeah.
It's-
Especially Evil Dead 2.
Too-
Such a
too
great movie.
Over the top. Too so.
It's such a great movie.
much great.
Horror comedy.
Yeah,
Like it's
horror
and to me it fits right into the like I mean, who doesn't want to be Ash for Halloween?
Yeah.
Come on.
now. Fuck yeah.
If I could cut off my
Movie.
hand and be Ash for
Yeah.
Halloween, I would, but I need my hand.
Yeah.
I need both. Otherwise, I would cut off my fucking hand to be
Yeah.
Ash for Halloween.
Exactly.
That's my honorable mentions.
All right. Well, there you go. There's our top 5 horror movies of all time. Hopefully, and honorable mentions. So hopefully you agree or disagree. Let us know in the comments.